Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to dive into a really cute little clock that I picked up. The clock part works, but the dancer does not. So Brian's going to take this apart and see if we can get her dancing again.
So it looks like the clock is going to come out with it, I think.
Okay.
Well, the girl's coming. The clock is not. Okay, so I take this one off. This is to wind the clock. Those should come through. Unless they're pressed on, they should come through. That's what I need to find out here. Why is that not coming out? Look at that, there's a little box there. Isn't that cool? Look at the little rubber band turning her. What a pretty song. I wonder what it is. Look at the fan.
Mm-hmm.
That's there to steady it so it doesn't run away. All right, well, there's the lens, and it's made out of glass, domed glass, like a real old alarm clock. So when that gets cleaned up, that'll be really nice to look at her. And then it has a little frame, so it looks like you're looking through a TV set. Look at that, Gayle, that's freaking pretty.
It's adorable.
Yeah, it doesn't need any cleaning at all, that's good. And here's the frame that holds all of the TV front and the glass lens in here. So what we got here is it looks like this is the on and off. When Gayle got this thing, we didn't know if these were fake or real, but it turns out that that is what turns the alarm on and off, which is the little lever for the music box. So when you want to turn the alarm on, you will turn it, probably looks like left, and then the little lever here on her, right here, pushes this way. And that's what starts her playing. Now what's going to make her run, what's going to turn her on when the alarm goes off, is that here's a very thin little wire, like a piece of wire. And that's attached to the front of the clock behind the dial. We can't see that. But when you turn to set the time, the action of when it jumps is going to, what apparently looks, it's going to lift up or move out of the way, and that is a fan brake for this. So if you look here, there's a little fan here, and that is what's going to allow the clock to turn the alarm off, and it will play until you reach over and turn off the little lever, and then it'll actually stay working every night until either her mainspring runs out for her or the clock runs out.
Right.
And then that's your adjustment for your regulator on the clock to speed it up or slow it down.
Cool.
How about that, huh?
Yeah,
that
neat.
is fantastic. That is just, we thought that it's missing pieces, but it looks like it's not. But,
It's all there.
well, here we go. Now we're gonna go to part 2. Gayle's gonna clean the glass, and I'm gonna go in here and we're gonna just toss a little oil at this thing. Nothing like, we're not gonna overhaul it. We just wanna get it running and see if it works correctly.
Yeah, right.
Because we didn't know. There's a rod here with threads on it, and I don't know if it's supposed to be like that. Maybe you're supposed to turn it and it doesn't do anything, but
It doesn't seem to.
yeah.
It doesn't seem to attach to anything.
Well,
either.
they didn't know which way it was going to turn, so in the direction booklet it might have said that that is for that. But I don't see how it could be something that is missing that would turn the clock on and off. But I don't know. It's hard to say. I can't really tell.
Right.
But you definitely are going to control the clock from this side.
Right.
And then I guess when it runs, the clock it'll keep playing until you either stop it. That's what I'm guessing. I mean, it seems that way. What's got me miffed though is it's kind of these little wires down here. I don't, like in a cuckoo clock, these are set up to for bellows, and if there was a bellow on each side, that wheel would turn to count how many times it goes hoo hoo, and it also controls the cuckoo. And they're like, it's almost like it's missing something, but after seeing this, it looks like that's going to. And the funny thing is that this didn't turn on.
Right.
it didn't turn on. But we also didn't turn it on. It stopped the clock.
Yeah.
So we were forcing it against its will and unknowingly. But that's the reason why, guys, you got to open them up and very carefully study everything and look at it, because you only get kind of one chance. And what we know so far is that there's nobody with pictures on the internet.
No, there's not a lot of
You can't even see
information on
what's
these.
missing and what. There's no like repair manual. Like you don't even know if someone robbed parts out of it, because we saw them on eBay, but they're for parts. So who knows how many people have been inside of this and been monkeying around, and they didn't know what they were doing. And we're going to change that, because I think we're going to make that happen.
Okay.
It could be a dummy, because if you know, in the book it might. If you knew, it was just something so the plastic thing didn't break off because someone squeezed it. At least they have control of something that doesn't work.
Yeah.
If it was glued on from the factory, it would have broke off.
Yeah.
They didn't read the directions and go, oh, the clock side is how you turn it on and off. Left is to turn it on, right is to turn it off. It's very fragile. It's not something you manhandle. Like, this is something when you wake up in the morning, you don't grab a hold of it and ready to whip it at the dog.
Right.
You know what I
All
mean?
right, we're coming back.
Oh, it's going to be wonderful to look at that one. That's clean. Boy, is that thin.
Very.
And it's magnified. It's thin and it's convex at the same time. What a nifty thing. Gonna put a little bit here in the escapement. More than needed, but it ain't gonna hurt anything for now. Every pivot that we can lube, this, we'll put some lube in there. We'll get some lube in this mainspring here. I'm being sloppy, but we're not testing for any kind of, we're just giving it a little bit of, we'll put a little bit there, a little bit there. Yeah, there's a pivot there. This oiler is too big for this. A little bit there. I'm not getting near that balance wheel because it's running, so I have to get a really long, I see a piece of cat hair or dog hair stuck on the escapement. Well, let's get a tweezers and grab that off. Went underneath the escape wheel, so that's not happening now. Well, that's about all we can do, really.
Okay.
I mean, unless the movement comes out. But let's just see if it works before.
Right.
And you know what this could be? It could be spring-loaded. I'm thinking it could be spring-loaded, so there's resistance there, but I don't know. I would have to see a picture of this. Yeah. And that's the thing, you don't want to start bending these wires if you don't know where they go and how they attach.
Right.
That's suspect to me, just that in itself. So let's leave that alone and let's just see if we can get the clock to, the clock we know runs. I mean, a little bit of oil is better than no oil. Yeah. A little bit more in here in this mainspring. And then what we'll do is we'll get the glass back in, and then we'll oil up her, and then we'll slide it in, and we'll see if it should work.
Okay.
Of course, I got a fingerprint right on the outside of it, but it's on the outside. Oh, baby, how are you gonna fit in there? It does not fit that way. That's where the corner was, though. Huh.
Maybe you have to turn it around.
You know what? I don't know that it ever was fully in all the way. It might have been, but there's no real room for it. It doesn't like fit in the. Let me just look and see if that's covering all the way. No, it is not. It's open. It's exposed. All right, let's try loading it from the other direction. That glass does not fit in there. It can't be, you can't push it back in, it would break the glass. There's no way that's gonna do that. There's no way.
Well, the frame will help hold it in place.
Yeah. Yeah, the only way to fix that would be to slice it out. You'd have to cut out some of it where it warped so the glass laid in there right. I'm not a big fan of it letting it like that, but let's just see how it all plays out here. That will go over top, and then that slide in like that.
Hey guys,
Before we continue, I wanted to give you a little bit of history on this cute little clock that I picked up. So when I say a little, I mean a little, because there really was not a lot of information out there on these clocks. But what I can tell you is that Goldbuhl was a trademark of the KG Fixture Company. Now, if you're a chess player, you might recognize that name because the Fixture Company was not famous for making ballerina clocks. They actually were famous for making chess clocks. So I'll show you a picture of that. These clocks were made in Villingen, Germany, which is where the Fixture Company was located. There's not a lot of information. This company didn't last very long. It was founded in 1949, but by 1976, they were out of business. They went bankrupt. Now, these little clocks were not specific to the Goldbuhl company. I found these clocks labeled under Bradley, Renzi, Flourn, and even a Waltham. So it's not a lot of information, but it's what I could find. And if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for me.
Wow, that's even tight in there too. There it goes, okay. I have to work ambidextrous now. I have to place it in left-handed. All right, there we go, there's that one started. The only thing you gotta be careful at this point is that you can't screw the frame down too tight. You don't want it to break the glass. So we'll just snug it up just enough. It'll be happy. This won't be like, it's not like we're gonna be going down the road and vibrating all the hell. And there's that one. Okay, there's that one. You always want to put the screws in all loose before you tighten anything down. And since we know that the top of the crystal is not going in all the way, the top screws we will not be tightening very tight.
Yeah.
Just enough to keep the crystal in, but not enough to crack it. You'd have to start modifying. It's funny, this whole thing is warped. It's like almost like it was sitting in an attic and it just got so hot in the attic. It's amazing that little rubber drive band is actually working. That it's still running after all these years. The little thing is still going. Okay. All right, Gayle. Well, that's done. I had to wipe the fingerprints off the outside. Let me just do that now because my OCD is kicking in. Make sure that we got all the fingerprints out of there. Nothing sucks worse than you're putting a watch crystal on and you miss a spot. You're like, oh man, what the F? That's real nice and clean now.
Super.
Okay, so now next let's oil her up.
Right.
This is exciting. This is the best. This is the whole thing for it right here. The girl. That's
I
what
know,
we all
right?
came to see is the girl. We're gonna put some here, just a little, and we're gonna oil the drum. And we're gonna oil the barrel arbor. We're gonna get some oil in here on the mainspring. And what else can we see here? There's a drive gear there. Now we're not getting them all. We just can't get everything, but we can get enough that it should. There's another pivot for the bottom of that wheel. I'm gonna go down there and get it. Let's try it out and see if it works better. Okay, we're gonna put a little oil there. She should really start playing rock and roll now. Okay, let's try some here. All right, we're gonna put some oil here on this ratcheting system. Just like it's just like in a watch. The crown, the clutch works the same way. See how the little teeth click over to lock it in place to hold the mainspring down? See, isn't that cool? All right, that's fully wound. Now she should probably play pretty good. Uh-oh. She just quit.
I know.
Is that a piece of tooth? I'm manually juicing. I'm making it run faster. try to get the oil, the lubricant in to where it needs to go.
Yeah.
It's probably like paste or it's turned to like tar. So there's the oil didn't work its way through. What a beautiful little thing. You see this big fat gear over here, that silver one to the right? All right, that's called the crown wheel in a watch. And what you don't see is under the barrel, this cover that keeps the mainspring from flying out, there's a pivot on the actual metal body. And that's where I put the oil. And now she's moving. Yep. Listen to that. Look at
like she never
like a
danced
ballerina.
before.
Look. Last time she danced, that goes when she was new. Look how she's moving now.
I know.
That's what it was right there. That was
Yep.
that was the winning pivot, guys. It's totally funny when you hear this, how the sound of it when it's moving fast. When it's barely creeping along, you're like,
Yeah.
it's almost like lullaby mode and wake up mode.
I know.
Cute. What adorable thing. What a neat clock. That is so cute.
It is adorable.
What if she stops and her butt's facing you? You gotta wonder if you turn her off. Yeah, that whine's really nice now. That's what you wanted. You can hear it's beautiful. The spring's got lubricant. Be careful when you get to the end, but okay. Well, we should be ready to go back together. Let's get a little lube on our adjuster. Just a little, nothing crazy. Make sure this can be adjusted easily. Okay. All right, we should be ready to put this back together.
Okay.
So we got everything, and we did. Now we have to line that regulator up. Got a bunch of different things that have to be done at the same time here. The lever is going to be tricky. The lever has to go under her. The regulator has to line up. It does. That pin has to line up. Okay, so now I gotta see in here and see if that little arm is going to touch that. It does not look like that at all. Yeah, it doesn't even line up right. See that, Gayle? Look at that.
Yeah.
It's not even in the ballpark. What's holding us back?
I don't know.
Me neither. Oh, I know what it is. It's the crystal. That's why it's not forward enough. Okay, that makes sense. All right, well, that's a little problem. Now, the question is that bent? Well, the only thing we can do, all right, here's what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to take the crystal out. And the reason why is because you have to slide it forward. It's not reaching the fan. And I don't know if this is bent though. That's the thing. I don't know what it's supposed to. It looks like it's got a bend in it right there, like somebody accidentally bent it. But it has to go all the way.
Yeah.
And it's not. Which means that what we're gonna have to do is somehow, very carefully, I'm gonna have to come up with some kind of solution here. I'm gonna have to open up the frame for the glass, because the glass has to be sitting back or sitting in farther, because she's running into it, pushing it backwards.
Yeah.
And by doing that, the arm's not far enough. So what we're gonna do on part 2 is I'm going to figure out, because we can't manipulate the glass. That's
Right.
off. You can't flex it, press it. You can't
No.
there's no way I can visually see that it will not go back in there correctly. That's funny. Somebody took this apart. The reason why it doesn't work is because it can't go in far enough. Plus, it'll allow me enough room to look in there. Yep, our crystal has got to be. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna leave that out for now. And we're gonna try putting it back in without crystal. Just to make sure this theory works.
Right.
Let's try that. Alright, she goes under. Oh, that's cool. Look, I can see in there. Alright, well that changes the game. Now what is in my way? It's not letting me push it down far enough. Because it's in the guide pins. But it is not happy about being where it is. I wonder what's holding it back. Well, let's test it, see if it works.
Okay.
Is this one. right, so what can stop her? Okay, so this will stop her. Okay, so that'll stop her. Now, what's going to control the fan is that there, which means in order to, why is that not wanting to go down there? And then whatever that lever is not holding it. That has to be holding it. All right, that's holding it. So that means at 6 o'clock, it should start to play the song. Oh, it's not happy where that position is.
Nope.
See, it's just raising it up. It's pulling it away just far enough as it's coming along. So that little arm is bent somehow. And either it's bent or look at the case, the way it fits in here.
Yeah.
Nothing lines up.
Right.
That's very interesting to me. Nothing lines up.
Plastic shrunk.
Yeah, it actually did. It actually doesn't even fit in the case anymore. Look how it's, look how it, like the case shrank and it just broke itself because there's no room. This has to go all the way in as far as it'll go. It has to go in as far as it can. The crystal has to be all the way. This whole unit has to fit in here. I'll show you. So the problem is not this. That's not the problem. There's nothing wrong with this. The problem is here. What we have to see is which direction this jumps out at. So what we're gonna do is we're going to set the alarm to 7 o'clock. Bring this around at 8 o'clock. And I'm going to set the time till it hits 8. Oh, it's so hard to turn it without the crown. It goes that way. It goes that way. And that way is pushing away. So it jumps forward. All right. So it jumps forward, and that's what releases it off of this. That's what gets this to start going. And it's touching. It can't stop it because it's too far away. Because this isn't in far enough. Once you move this inward, that will be in the zone for the stopper to stop. Now, I'm willing to bet that you probably could. We could. I don't think it's going to happen, but you could bend this to try to compensate for that, but I don't think that's a good idea. In fact, it looks like somebody did bend it already once. So the gameplay is that we have to get it. We have to do a case mod. We have to figure out where it fits tightly and trim either that or trim this so that it will fit inside. I mean, look how warped it is.
Yeah.
Look at this whole section. See that? Look at this wave.
I can see it.
It's broke out here. It broke out here. It broke out here. And here, just from the contraction of, think about all the years that thing has been in there.
Right.
And this plastic is shrinking and shrinking. Who knows how hot the attic was?
Right.
For all we know, it could have been white, but I think it was beige. It matches the refrigerator.
It does.
But it's gonna have to have
Some modification done to it.
either I just take a Dremel and just trim out the frame, because this is kind of so fragile. Only if I want to be monkeying here. I got to trim out a little bit for the glass with a Dremel. Just a smidge out of here just to make the glass fit in correctly. I'll slide all the way through, and then I'll trim a little bit of this out so it fits in here. It has to fit inside of this. See that?
Right. Yeah,
if
I
it's
see
sticking back and flush, that little lever is not going to go in far enough to catch the propeller or the fan.
Yeah.
Once that's done and we can slide it all the way in as far as it'll go and screw it in, I don't know how accurate, these are going to be close, but that's not going to really bother us. It's not going to affect us at all. But then it'll work. It will work. This will work again correctly, but that's what we have to do, and that's as far as we go. All right, well, this is not the most exciting video ever that we've ever made, but this is where we really are with this thing. Now, we got the clock to run. It's a little fast. It used to be really slow, if you remember. So clock's working just fine now with this little bit of oil, and the music part is working just fantastic. Now, problem we had was that the glass was never set in here all the way. How it even worked, I don't know, but I realized after spending like 2 hours very carefully cutting out the frame to fit the glass in. Well, we got a cat here. Hold on, hit the road, Julie Lou. Okay, so once I got the glass to fit in there correctly, I have to load it from the back. The whole assembly has to go in. And what's been baffling me is that if you look at it, it looks like the whole entire case warped and shrank. You see that, how it's cracked on the corners? And you notice there's a bow in it right here?
Yes, I do.
And if you look at the top, there's a big bow in it right here. Now, when you look down through it, it's hard to make any adjustments to get the alarm clock to trigger the ballerina to work. Because there's a little tiny metal arm in there, flash picture. Well, whoever was monkeying around with this thing, bent that arm. And there's no access to adjust it, to see. There's a very tiny little bit of space between where the arm jumps out and releases the fan and then allows the music box to play. And I was thinking, well, why don't I just, cut all this, take a Dremel and trim all this frame out so that it fits in there. The problem is that when you try to push it in, the farther in it goes, there's no room for the little arm to work anymore. That's why it sounds like it's hitting, like the propeller or the blades is being hit by the arm. It's just making all kinds of racket. And I realized that even if I did that and I pushed it in farther, that wasn't going to help us. There was no way that was going to solve any problem. The only way to really do it is to really adjust that. And the adjustment is so fine that I don't know if I could get it right by bending it. It looks like somebody did bend it. I also had to Dremel out these 3 areas for the settings of the alarm and the actual the winder for the mainspring. And even after shifting that, it actually helped, but it did not solve the problem. And in reality, is the case is warped. This must have been in an attic or someplace very hot. And I don't know how Bakelite performs when it comes to, being subject to heat, but the ones we looked at on eBay, this is sitting here properly. And there's no physical way I think that I can modify this thing to the point where I can make that work. So the only thing we got is, if you want to play the music box, you just turn it. But if you watch what happens, see, we can't go in anymore.
Right.
We can only go out. And I don't think there's any real way to go in there and try to adjust. It has to be bent in minute amounts, but the problem is it's still too close.
Yeah.
So it'll never be an alarm clock.
Yeah.
So
she still works.
But it
is really
works.
cool.
Now the clock keeps time, which you can control the rate. It's actually a little fast, so you can turn it down a little bit to slow the clock down. And if you want to play the music, you can.
Yeah.
And then so you turn it on and off.
Pretty cool.
Sadly, this is one of those things that Gayle knows how I am. I'd work on it till 5 o'clock in the morning trying to resolve it. But
yes, you would.
there's no solution to it other than, look at this here. Look at how it's warped.
Yeah, you can see it.
It's so warped. And the thing is the way they made it, the back of her little case where her mirrors are, there is such a tiny, tiny, tiny amount of space for that to adjust. When the alarm goes off, it moves away.
Yeah.
When it moves away, that's what allows the fan. That's what allows the music box to start playing. This would be your on and off switch,
Right.
which until we took it apart, we didn't really even know that we just thought these were not even real.
Right.
Well, this one's not real.
Correct.
But
Yeah.
this one is. So that's what would turn the alarm off, and the little arm would be on the fan.
Right.
Well, when the alarm activates, it pushes the lever away, and there's no space for it because we can't move it in any farther. I'm kind of bummed about that. But no, you can't win them all. You
can't.
If this was a metal case, like if this box, if the TV box was made out of metal, like most alarm clocks are, most of the old stuff, you don't run into this problem. But look at the warpage.
Yeah.
For me to start modifying this thing,
there's no
to
reason
try
do
to, there's just no, the amount of hours that you'd have to spend trying to get it right, taking it in and out and in and out, it's just not worth.
Right.
It's just not worth it. Unfortunately, I wish
No.
it could be different. I've
is
given
cute,
I've
though.
given it my all. So you've got a clock and you got a music box. You just don't have an alarm clock.
Right.
Which
That wouldn't wake me up anyway, because it's
well, one fun fact about it is that when you turn on the music part, I actually wound it up and I was recording time, how long it would take before it runs out. It'll play 4.5 minutes.
4.5 minutes.
And it's kind of fun when you watch it. If you sit and let it play,
Yeah.
when you start getting to the very end, the music is going really slow, and it's
Yeah.
almost like a lullaby where it puts you.
Right.
It's really cute.
It is.
And the music is really. I don't know what song it is. Anybody knows what the song is, but leave it to the Germans, you know. But if you're not into music boxes, you could. It's adorable.
It is.
And now I'll go clean the glasses so you can look in there and.
Yeah. Pretty neat.
That's fun, huh?
Well, thanks for doing that, Brian.
You're welcome. Well, wish I could have helped you better, but
No, that's okay.
that's what we got. That's
what we
it.
got.
Yep.
All right.